Happy Saturday, everyone. Happy birthday to my most favorite person in this world, Raquel. You are amazing. You're an amazing coach, amazing mother. You're a most fantastic friend. I cannot express how much you mean to myself and this community at large. You're an amazing individual, and I love you to bits. So today, I hope you have a fantastic day, and I hope all of you at home have a fantastic day celebrating Raquel's birthday with this lovely piece of work right here. Our work set starts with an inchworm knee to nose for 3 to 5 reps, into a sumo squat for 3 at a 3-1-3 tempo, dynamic triangle for 3 a side, windmill for 6 alternating, side lunge for 20 seconds, 2 to 3 rounds, into our curtsey lunge for 10 alternating, back lunge for 6 alternating, single leg RDL, again to tap into that hamstring and glute, dumbbell front squat for 3 and dumbbell thruster for 2, 3 to 5 rounds, and then we move into this lovely little work set that is all legs. Oh yes. We have 12 sumo deadlift high pulls, 6 per side, into a dumbbell alternating front lunge, into 3 thrusters, dumbbell alternating back lunge, into 3 thrusters, and then back into that sumo deadlift for 10 rounds. Or we have some different options for you as well. So it's going to be a gasser, just about nice, smooth, steady flow. The loading for this is not meant to be heavy. It's meant to be something that you can just flow through those movements nice and steady with and nice and smooth. So please don't worry about heavy. Think light, movable, and just keep the body moving. Let's warm you up. Let's get ready for this lovely extravaganza. All right, you guys, let's do it up. Let's get our feet under our hips. We'll take the arms big and tall up overhead. We're going to stretch over to one side and then over to the other side. Come back to center, forward fold, touch those toes. We're gonna walk up the shins. We'll come down, frame a foot. We'll step back into our lizard. Inside hand's gonna scoop. Then come back down. Outside hand's gonna scoop. Back down, we'll lower the back knee. Press the hip. To center, press the hip. To center, and press the hip. Back to center. Straighten the leg, step into your plank, nice and tight. Step the other foot up. Inside hand's gonna scoop. Take it down. Outside hand's gonna take it up. And then we're gonna lower the back knee down. We'll press the hip to center. Press the hip to center. Press the hip back to center. Step her back into our plank. Nice big high. Good morning. Down dog. And then we'll bring our body into our plank. Tiptoe those feet all the way up. Then we'll roll ourselves up. Big tall stretch. Little shrug. Come back down with those shoulders. And get ready to rock and roll. So pause the video if you'd like to take down some more gentle warm up. Right, we got a lot of stuff coming up in the work set. But pause the video, get maybe some rotation, cat-cow. Who knows? Whatever you need to do to get your upper body, lower body ready before we work set. Do so. Come join me though. I'm going to get you started on this first piece of the work set and get you guys going. We start off with a cool little inchworm knee to nose. So again, we can take the arms up overhead if you'd like. Get a little extra love in there. Take it all the way back. We're going to walk our hands out into our plank. Establish the plank solid position. And then pull the knee in between into that knee to nose. Knee to nose on the other side. And then walk our hands back in. We want to work on keeping those hips at our normal level and just bringing the knee straight up. It's okay if we get a little extra rounding as we pull the head towards our knee. But what we want to focus on is keeping the hips level and just bringing the knees straight up the bottom. Okay? So take your time with those. Don't rush. You only have 3 to 5 reps there. So take your time. Hit your plank. Get that good knee to nose. Little pause. Set. Good little pause, other side, and then move yourself back up. From there, we start back up to standing. We're going to stay in this sumo stance for a while. So my stance is going to be a little wider. I'm going to get set up, and I'm going to focus on taking my hips to my heels as I press those knees out. Staying mid-foot balance, but keeping that big toe down, and staying as upright as I can. And then I'm going to stand tall, keeping those knees out. So from the profile, just so you can see my hip and back position, I take the hips to the heels, my knees press out, nice and tall and upright in my torso, and I feel that whole foot contacted with the floor the entire squat on the down and the up. I come back after that rep, or my last rep there, back into my sumo stance, and I'm going to turn one toe and then the other toe on the angle, one toe completely to the side. So I'm going to put my hand on my thigh, hand up to the sky, and I'm going to pull that hip back into the back heel as I let my body trace down my shin, reaching up to the sky with that hand, and then reaching up as I come back to standing. So the key here is that hip pull, which helps tip my body, and then I just continue pulling back and lowering to where I can and allow myself to work on that good hinge to the side. From there, I'm going to turn my toes back to forward, and I'm going to work on a very similar kind of motion with some rotation. We're going to work on the windmill. So my toes can be slightly turned out. I'm still in my sumo stance. I'm going to take one hand to the sky, the other hand kind of down. It's going to reach for the floor. I'm going to pull my hips back, and I'm going to rotate to the side of the raised arm, coming down to the floor if I can, or coming as close to the floor as I can. And then I'm going to switch. Other hand comes up, pulling the hips back. I'm going to rotate slowly and take it down, trying to stay open with this arm overhead in that position. So just take it to the range you can. So if you're going and you're like, and that's where I can maintain position, that's okay, right? Take it down to where you can, keeping the knees soft but the legs straight. Beautiful little windmill. That can be loaded or unloaded, but if you're using load, please keep it super, super light so that you can focus on the rotation and keeping the arm overhead. Our last exercise, we're going to take our feet a little wider. We're going to work on that side lunge. So I'm going to take my hip to my heel. Mentally, even though I'm lunging, I'm going to think squat. Keeping the chest up high, keeping the foot flat, and pushing through that nice, strong single leg. So I'm letting my knee trace my toe. I'm keeping my chest upright, and I'm pressing through that leg. So I want to think squat, even though I'm doing a side lunge. Quick recap. We have 3 to 5 inchworm knee to noses. Sumo squat for 3 at a 3-1-3 tempo. Dynamic triangle for 3 a side. Into our windmill for 6 alternating reps. Side lunge, 20 seconds of just smooth, steady flow. Balance out your legs though, so make sure if you hit 20 seconds, just give yourself a balancing rep if you end up on the opposite side. And then hit that for 2 to 3 rounds, priming yourself up, getting those legs ready, and getting ready for this lovely workday workout. Pause it, come back to me. I'm going to take down the next phase of work, which is going to be our curtsey lunge. So we're going to start off with a little weird lunge again. So I'm going to start with my feet under my hips, and I'm going to take my foot on an angle, and I'm going to step back, and I'm going to lower down, and then come back up to that hip width stance. And you can take that foot on the angle, lower down, stand tall. So working through that range, I'm taking my time. I'm only going as deep as I feel comfortable. So as a quick example, as I step back and I lower, if I was to turn to the side without moving, I'm kind of in this nice position where my knee is stacked over my heel and my back knee is under my hip, under my shoulder. I'm just turned on this side position in my kind of angular lunge. So it's kind of a fun thing, but the knee alignment and the hip alignment is very similar to our regular lunge forward or back. So we have 10 alternating curtsey lunges into 6 back lunges. So we're going to work on step, lower, working on that range of motion, step, lower, keeping that knee over the heel, back knee under the hip, step, lower, and just taking that through, working on my position. After that, I'm going to prime up my glutes and work on my single leg RDL. So I'm going to turn to the side again. I'm going to get myself set up on my favorite foot for the day. Big toe is down, weight through the midfoot. I'm going to squeeze my glutes. I'm going to pull my hands together just a little bit like I'm squeezing a pillow. And that's just going to turn my lats on and get my core kind of engaged as well. And I'm going to pull my hips back, taking my hands or dumbbell to my knee and stand tall. Really focusing on my hips staying square and all of the weight and focus being on this leg. This balancing leg is just more like a kickstand to help me stay balanced so that I can really tap into that glute and hamstring. Take your time with those, you guys. If you'd like to load them with 2 hands to the front, a single or a single, be my guest, take your time, but really focus on that glute and that hamstring engagement as you're working through that single leg RDL. We have 3 per side before we start getting the dumbbells out. So next we have is our front squat. So I'm gonna grab my dumbbells. I'm gonna move more into our thruster kind of motion. So what we're going to do is I'm gonna pick my dumbbells up with a good deadlift. I'm going to clean them up like we worked yesterday in Linda's birthday workout and get myself into my good front squat. So I'm gonna turn to the side so you can see profile. I'm gonna take my hips to my heels, my knees will track the toes, my elbows pressing into the dumbbells just a little bit to keep them strong so they don't sag on me. So I'm pressing into the dumbbells, taking those hips to my heels, staying tall, and working through that nice, good front squat. I'll do 3 front squats, and then I'm gonna continue with 2 more thrusters. So I'm gonna squat and drive, and then I'm going to squat, drive for 2, and then I'm gonna rest, and then I'll repeat, right? So as I do this work set, all right, if I'd like to start adding in some weight to the lunges, because we are doing a loaded lunge in the work set, if you'd like to start slowly adding load, be it a goblet, front rack, farmers, you can start adding that weight in to your back lunge, or even a goblet to your curtsey lunge, just so you can start feeling that loaded lunge if you're gonna do a weighted lunge in the workout. It just gives you a chance to feel some load, warm things up, and get yourself ready. Quick recap, curtsey lunge for 10 alternating, back lunge for 6 alternating, single leg RDL for 3 a side, dumbbell front squat for 3, dumbbell thruster for 2, repeat, and get yourself primed and ready, 3 to 5 rounds. And yeah, we're gonna go through the work set for the workout, and get you guys comfortable with those movements. So pause the video, take down that warm up, come join me. We're gonna venture through the workout, which starts off with the sumo deadlift high pull. So that's a single dumbbell exercise. I'll have some other exercise options there for the sumo if you'd like to play with those. You're more than welcome to. But what we're gonna do is we're gonna get set up with the dumbbell in between my feet. So I'm kind of in my squat stance. I'm gonna pull my hips back and down into a good deadlift position. I'm gonna stand through those legs and let the momentum carry the dumbbell up. And then I'm gonna let the arm come down with control to the hip. Then I'll take it back down, stand up, and allow those legs and hips to open, feeding the dumbbell that energy so that I'm not overworking my arm. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do 6 on one side, 6 on the other side. And then I'm gonna work on a dumbbell lunge. So we have multiple options for this in the dumbbell lunge. If you'd like to do the dumbbell lunge front rack position, goblet style, farmer style, you're more than welcome to. So I'm gonna demonstrate a couple reps of each. So my front rack, front lunge, I clean them up, I get myself set up, and I'm going to step and lower, keeping my front rack active, just like I do in my front squat. Nice and set. Or I can hold the dumbbells down to the side. The only kicker with this is we have to control the dumbbells so they don't swing as I step. So the dumbbell should stay beside my hips the entire time. And I can also do a goblet. And in that regard, I just keep the dumbbell close to my body, under the chin, pinned in with my arms if I need to, so I can work that good steady lunge. Okay? Next exercise is the thruster. So you'll come right out of that lunge into your thruster. We covered the thruster in our work set earlier, so if you need some review on your movement, please rewind, check out those points of performance. But again, with the thruster, we want to focus our attention on that good front squat, because that's what's going to give us that good overhead press at the end. Our next exercise is the dumbbell lunge to the back. So the same loading that you did for the front lunge, you'll do to the back, and you're just going to step down. So you're getting the best of both worlds today in both lunges. So you're going to work on stepping back on the second one, and work on that balance and coordination of that, working on the same alignment. you'll finish off again with 3 more thrusters, and then repeat. So I want you to know that this is gonna be a burner, and if you have to break it down, break it down. If you can get through the entire work set unbroken and kind of steady before you take a break, try and maintain that. Breaking after the second set of thrusters, setting up for good sumos, set that up and try and take it all the way through and go from there. So there's lots of cool little ways you can play with this. I'll put some different round options up on that work set today in the workout description, so you can choose on a level of volume you like to play with. But have fun with this for you guys. It's gonna be a burner, it's gonna be fun. Work for quality, everyone. And please have a safe and fun weekend this weekend. Enjoy, have fun. We'll talk to you very soon and kickstart off another week, which brings us to the beginning of December. Crazy, crazy to think about. Enjoy, you guys. Thinking about you a ton. We'll see you soon.